A beautiful afternoon to you once again. We are 28 minutes gone past 3 p.m. West African time. And just in case you're wondering what's today, it's still the 6th day in the month of October 2021. And I'm happy to have you on here as part of today's show on the Family Matters with K for today. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, on Facebook at Lagoon Radio Nigeria, on Twitter at Lagoonradio.Ng, and on Instagram at Lagoonradio.Ng. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel at LagoonTV, and you can join the conversation for today by calling in on 08189 Lagoon 524 I repeat, 08189 524 That is the number to call to be a part of today's show. It's still your number one family matter show here on Lagoon Radio, where we educate, inform, and entertain every member of the family on that particular issue that concerns every member of the family. That is, if your child, your mother, father, we discuss secular issues that affects the home and pertain to family issues. My name is Olumakaiye, and I'm going to be taking you through today's Family Matters with K. I'm your humble host. On the show last week Wednesday, this same time last week, we discussed the importance of setting phone limits, and I had a couple of guests with me in the studio, and we discussed that even these apps that we stay stuck to have limits we can set for ourselves, and it was important that we understand and manage our physical and mental health. And on today's episode of the Family Matters with K, we'll be talking about another really exciting topic that is rampant and incessant in most homes of today. But in the meantime, we'll be going on a quick break, and when we get back, I'll be introducing my guest that I have with me in the studio, and I'll also be sharing today's topic while we get into it for today. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms. Download the app if you have not. To listen to the live broadcast from wherever you are, download the app on your Google Play Store or your Apple Store, and you should subscribe to put a voice to the face you're listening to. That is me and every other faces and voices you'll be listening to today at Lagoon Radio. And when we get back, we'll obviously doing the talking together. Meanwhile, if you followed the afternoon drive show, there was a discussion that spurred up, and we'll be revisiting the discussion once again today. It's still Family Matters with K. Don't go nowhere.
You are listening to Lagoon Radio. Even in times of sorrows and pain, surely I know my Jesus lives. 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 I know my Jesus lives.
to Lagoon Radio.
Welcome back from that music break. You're still listening to the likes of Olumakaiye, and I trust you're enjoying those beautiful music songs that we've been bringing to you. It's still the Family Matters with K show here on Lagoon Radio. Don't forget to stay connected to the show. Follow us on all our social media platforms, on Facebook at Lagoon Radio Nigeria, on Twitter and on Instagram at Lagoonradio.Ng. To join the phone conversation, do well to call in through us on 08189524666. I repeat, 08189524666. That is the number to call to join the conversation for today. Yes, so we'll be discussing on domestic violence in the family. Yes, domestic violence in the family. That is what we'll be discussing on today's episode of the show. Meanwhile, we know that conflict in every intimate relationship it's normal, because we can't do without conflict.
Sherry, tí 80% ẹ̀dá láyé tí wọ́n bá ti fẹ́ràn mi, èmi ti fi 20% tó kù fún wọn sílẹ̀ fún wọn kọ́ máa gbé mu. Ọ̀rọ̀ kan gbé mi lọ́kàn yìí fẹ́lẹ́, kí lọ́rọ̀ kan gbé mi lọ́kàn fúkẹ́fúkẹ́. Ọ̀rọ̀ kan já mi lọ́kàn jẹ, ó ń gbé mi lọ́kàn gidi gan. Ọlọ́run bá mi ṣe tèmi o, láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà o, ayọ̀ mi fẹ́rẹ̀ dé. Láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà, bàbá ẹ ó wá bá mi dúpẹ́ ọpẹ́ ńlá. Láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà, ayọ̀ mi fẹ́rẹ̀ dé. Láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà, rárá o, ẹ ó wá bá mi dúpẹ́. Tó jẹ́ wípé ẹ ó jẹ àjẹyó, ẹ ó tún dé ìlọlé. Ẹ ó jẹ àjẹyó, ẹ ó tún dé ìlọlé. Ẹ tún gbé tékèwé lọ. Ẹ ó jẹ àjẹyó, ẹ tún gbé tékèwé lọ. Ẹ ó tún dé ìlọlé. Ẹ ó jẹ, ẹ ó mu. Ẹ ó jẹ àjẹyó, ẹ ó tún dé ìlọlé. Olóró kan gbé mi lọ́kàn yìí fẹ́lẹ́.
You are listening to Lagoon Radio.
Welcome back. Yes, and we are still discussing on the domestic violence in the family and the role in which domestic violence plays in marriage. So we all know that conflict is a very important part of intimate relationship, and it cannot be avoided in a relationship. Or can conflicts be avoided? Meanwhile, I have with me in the studio, I have Sammy, I have Timilei, and I have Okwe with me in the studio, and we're going to be doing the talking together on today's episode of Family Matters. Okay, hello Sammy, how are you doing? Okay, good to hear. Good to hear from each and every one of you. Hi Timilei, how are you doing?
I'm fine. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How about you?
I'm
how
fine.
are you doing up there? Okay, good to hear. So we're going to be discussing on, I want to know your verdict on domestic violence. Your verdict on domestic violence in... Okay, so I want to know your your verdict on domestic violence in marriage, and at what point should the wife, if beaten or maltreated, leave the home or marriage? Sammy. Okay, we had this conversation from the afternoon drive show. That's when you actually spurred up. So at what point should a lady or a woman who is maltreated or who is domestically abused in marriage, at what point should she leave the marriage?
Going to get married to someone, you have to give be submissive, because you are getting if you know that you are going to have issue, don't even say yes to the person. That's a lot of problem, a lot of people that are facing today, because I feel like they're not getting married to someone they love really, but because of circumstance, maybe late marriage, they're not getting, maybe some people that have issues with and guys proposing to them and all, okay, they're not, okay, this is the last chance, let me try it out. But they don't know that maybe that was really too. But at least in the midst of this thing, you have to make sure everything is right, because there's some things, it's just us sitting down and talking that will solve the the domestic violence, and sometimes you have to leave the marriage for this thing. But I feel like, to me,
so for you, at what point would you leave that marriage?
It may be, let's say, if the domestic violence is going to 3 years, 3 to 4 years, I think I should be able to excuse myself from the marriage for the minute and I might not divorce. I might just separate.
You go on
for
a
the-
break.
Yes, for the betterment of my. And wait, like even though the only thing I'll be thinking about is maybe when I have children with him. The only thing in my children's future I'm thinking about and their mental health.
So
I don't-
you rather stay with him for 3 to 4 years?
Yes, I will. I will stay, but I will keep praying. Then I think every now and then I keep asking whatever my sin is, so we'll talk it out, so we'll know what issue, and at that moment I will not just stay and be coded and staying like not telling anybody. I will tell one of my friend, no, not the own friend, because friends they're
advise
not
you
meant
badly.
to be included in your marital affair. Never. Even though families, I think you should just include someone outside, like a counselor, a marriage counselor, so the person will advise you on what to do. And there's a situation whereby your marriage counselor needs you and your husband to be present, but the husband, due to stubbornness and all, so but you can go on yourself with what you want for your marriage. Do you know our parents, our parents, they've gone through a lot in marriage, and you say that 45 years of marriage, 25 years, do you know that 25 years is not an easy something? Why should you not stay?
That's amazing.
Why should you not stay when your parents can do 45, 25? Haba. Like, because of
But
children-
is it in violence? Is it in abuse? Is it in blows? Is it in blows? Is
we
it in
can't say
beating?
what. See, it's normal to have arguments between, but it shouldn't make you to get to the stage where the husband will beat you. Because
Okay, what if it has gotten to that stage? Because you say you're going to stay 4 to 5 years and it has gone to that stage.
if that I'm saying that I will seek for the counselor's help, or then maybe call my family members or his family members to talk. Someone that is more matured in the family, that have experience, not the ones that are going to add pepper to the issue.
Okay. Similarly, if you have something burning inside of you, let's hear it.
But to me, at what point? The second time.
Ooh.
I don't even want to know if it's a month, 2 months, but you try it the first time. I say,
You excuse that, okay.
I excuse that. Maybe the mistake from. But as long as you try it the second time, nah.
Irrespective of children you would have had for him.
If I have children, if I die, the children will continue their life.
Hey,
That's
amazing.
just it. They will continue. Children will continue their life. I'm not saying I will divorce him immediately.
Okay,
But
but
I
you
will
leave.
excuse myself. Because if I said I want to stay because of my children, if I die, they will not live their life. They will. Okay, so for me, for that my children, because I'm thinking of my children, I will excuse myself until he's able to get himself and sit down. I will pray, but for me to do that prayer, I will not do it in his house, because I can't imagine myself fasting. Then the first thing that I will use to break is slap. Yes. Because I won't have that mind to fast tomorrow, because I know how will I be fasting from morning till 6, and the first thing that I used to break is a slap. So I will do the fasting outside on my own, where I have my mind, and I will cry to God. But if this thing cannot solve, then we can now lead it to divorce. Everybody should just stay on their own. But what I would just say is, before getting to the point of marriage, just try to know the person you want to marry.
Okay. I've heard conversations from people saying, "Oh, toxic relationship, this and that." A relationship doesn't have to be toxic.
Yeah.
Like, no relationship will spell itself as toxic. But then but I've had conversations with people that say when the guy starts doing slapping you little, it's a sign. It's a sign that he's going to beat you or something. What do you think about that, Shokbe? Okbe? Moyo. My apologies.
Well, I feel people rush into relationships and stuff like that. Well, I don't. They've already said everything already. In relationships like that, you don't need to like rush into divorce and all these things.
Okay, so you personally, what will you do?
I'll take it to God.
At what point?
At what point will you take
you
it to
leave?
God? Will you leave the marriage?
I'll not allow my children to be involved. I will not have given birth for that time. Like might have started is the domestic violence before I give birth.
Okay.
But if the children are already involved,
So, okay, let's assume you've not given birth and you already see those
that would
traces.
still
Will you leave at that point?
yes, I will separate.
You separate straight up. You file for divorce and you're no longer
Not
interested.
divorce.
Okay,
not
so at
divorce.
what point do you now file for divorce? At what point does domestic violence lead to divorce?
When I notice that it will never change. Yes, there's some guys that no matter what you do, it's just like it's in their DNA. Like there's this guy that temperamental, like any small thing like this, they don't know how to talk it out. They don't talk.
they believe that
You just lash it out on
they will
somebody.
just lash it out. Okay, so when I know that thing that can never leave you, like, you cannot come and kill me. Like Yoruba used to say, I don't know how to translate this in English, but they will say, "Baslola," like a slap today, slap tomorrow. If you do not go blind, the eyes will not see very well again. That's just it.
Amazing. So, Sammy, at what point does domestic violence lead to divorce in your case?
Okay, first of all, if I say that is unbearable, I will separate myself from him. And when I'm separating, I'm not going to my parents' house. Neither his parents' side. I will go on my own. Maybe just get an apartment.
But will both parties know what is going on? Because there's no way you're going to separate, and your husband will not go and meet your
I
family.
will tell my
Of
mom.
course.
I will tell my mom. I will tell them, my brothers, my parents, that I'm going to excuse myself for the meantime. I'm going to take my children along. I don't want them to be like thinking,
Yeah.
okay, where's mommy? And even though they're with me, I can still like twist it. But the fathers, they don't know how to. They just say, your mother is. They just are saying. But for me as a mom, I will not have to like calm them that okay, things will be fine. We're just here for the meantime. So I'll just excuse myself from it. Then at that moment, I'm away from him. It's not as if no, I'm just there enjoying my life or being happy about what's going on. I will be praying for my kid's future. That's the only thing I will do, and I will be praying that things will change. And if I see that it's already getting out of hand, I will pray to God. God, is it divorce that is next for me? Or and then go to the counselor, and if the counselor advise me to divorce him, I don't have a choice than to like.
So
But it's going to be
I've
painful.
never
See, it's traumatizing. See, all those people that are divorced, they're not happy. Oh. Do you know
You
there are
cannot
some
say they are not happy.
See,
You don't know
there are
them.
sometimes in their
Cannot say they're not
in their
happy.
own space, they just are crying because they feel like it's like everlasting pain for them. No, like
It take the 3 to 4 years of you going to wait, and domestic violence is going on. Will you be enjoying all of the beating? Will you be enjoying all
Exactly.
of the pains? Will you be
You wake up in the morning and smile.
and exactly?
I know
Will you
I will
have
not be
reasons to be happy?
see between that 3 to 4 years, they know how they will not be like maybe. God forbid, my husband will not beat me.
But we can't wait. We can't actually predict. There's some people that they can actually stay with it. Yes. Well, I'm not saying no. There's some people that can stay with it, but it's really not advisable.
Exactly.
Because I can't imagine if you say you want to stay, like I said, you want to stay because of your children. I've heard a case that the woman actually died. The children are living now, and she actually stayed because of the children.
Even had cases in which you will not have, even when you are trying to make it up for the sake of children, for the sake of family. Okay, let's just even keep the family name intact and act like everything is okay outside to people outside. There will not be joy. I don't know if you get. There will not be joy. You won't enjoy yourself. Even
it's not
maritally.
Sorry, it's not only divorce that is traumatized to children. Your children walking in,
seeing those violence,
seeing the way. No. That one
And
is
that's what I'm
actually
saying.
the worst.
That's what I'm saying. That in like for them not to be seeing that thing and like mentally having issues
Disturbed
or
or not.
something. So I will excuse myself from the house, but I'll be with them so that at that moment they're going to be at peace. That okay, they're not going to say because I won't even want them to see it. I'm going to tell my husband, even though.
so what would be the peak of what he has done to you that make you say, oh no? That's all.
Oh,
Like practical example, mommy, you move your eyes.
not even my eyes. So
Okay.
see the thing that will pay me that it might say from his mouth useless woman. When you were marrying me, was that useless?
So that's what will make
That's
you
what
leave.
that make up my mind that okay, I think it's high time for me to like.
So
excuse
not even
myself.
because of the violence.
See the let me tell you, there's some guys. No, these things. Some domestic violence is actually not natural. So you see a lot of.
That's
If
like-
you can't meet the elderly ones, they will tell you that a lot of that domestic violence is not actually natural. It's not as if from he wished from his heart to just start beating the wife. Nobody prays to wake up and beat
That's
his wife.
where
And
the fasting and prayer comes in.
And
there's sometimes
that all
all
this
this
domestic
violence is true. Rush marriage. Maybe your
Like-
parents are
Matchmaking,
They
That's
don't
what
actually.
Russian-
Imagine
yes.
if you can cause all those kind of. That's why
and
me,
there's
I
some
don't think
domestic violence that is because of experience, what they see their father like you
Doing.
understand,
Yeah.
doing what happened in their family.
they feel like that's the
That's just
solution.
it.
Yeah, I
Yes.
understand.
So it's not advisable
But
for children to see
see,
something like this.
Even
'cause
though
it really affect
you
them.
love a guy and the guys have been
okay since when you are dating, courting. You should be praying that thing that is doing well, you should continue doing it more better. That's a prayer. That's one mistake some girls. Some girls, when they're dating a guy, they don't put anything in prayer. They just say, okay, let's date. Should be date. If you do that, we will change. See, changing guy is not anybody's joy to just be changing guy from when it's not clothes.
Put God first.
Just pray about it, that when I get married to this guy, whatever he's doing for me that is making me happy, smiling every day, should continue. I should be more than that.
Amazing. I like the notion on which we all ended, because we should always put God first and everything, because there's no marriage without crisis.
Yes.
There will be ups and downs, there will be conflicts, there will be gbas and zagas here and there. But then, even as women, we should learn to manage situations, control the way things are, because domestic violence is not something, whether physical, whether sexual, whether verbal, they are. It's not something that you can really we are humans. It's not something that you can really hold up and no matter how much you're covering it. If someone is beating you, slapping you, someone outside said will ask you that, madam, are you sure that you're okay?
Yes, they will ask you.
Exactly. They will ask you, are you sure you're okay? If I don't be advising you that if it's like he's not paying you, maybe you leave the marriage. So many advices will come at that point, but you as an individual, you need to manage yourself. And I won't advise any whether young person, even in a relationship, it's a red flag if you're in a relationship and you're saying, oh, he's tapping you this, please, it's a sign. No, it's not when it's not turning to punching bag when you marry. Before it becomes obvious, because those are little things. Any little thing, maybe you're having slightest of conflict, maybe over money. And you say I'm sorry, and you say I'm just joking.
Should not
You might not take it like serious
because
actually,
then,
because
you don't know.
it's still minor. You guys are joking about it, but fine, it eats you hard, and you're like, what did I say that you were around slap like that? But then you just laugh it off. He does the first time, and all these things are things that you're not carefree about. You're not paying attention to, and you expect that kind of person not to hit you hard in marriage and not say sorry. So these are things that even young ladies should watch out for as red flags in relationships. And married people, when it begins to happen, well, personally for me, I didn't like violence. If you beat me, I cannot shout. I'll pop out and go. No, honestly, because violence, you don't know where someone that beats you today come and say sorry. Are you saying that he's not gonna do it again and over again? So how many do you want to hold? It's not until you move your eye before you pack your load. You might not pack your load, but then a space, like you said, oh, let's just take a break or something. Maybe you should leave your house. Both of you say you are leaving your house and maybe go to another place. Maybe fresh breeze to touch you guys. So that is, there are always resolutions and settlements for all of this. Divorce is not a straight remedy, answer for domestic violence. There'll be other negotiation settlements that should have gone through before you say, oh no, I'm divorcing this person. So someone should just not speak up and say, my husband beats me, I divorce, and that's the end of the marriage. You just waste your time and everything, and you run the name of the family in the mud. So young ladies out there, women, mothers out there, it's not something that should be managed, but then over time with prayer. Man cannot change the heart of man, but God can. So with prayers, I feel like there will be changes in the man's behavior. Someone that used to beat you before can suddenly start liking you and loving you and showing you so much love. And someone that used to love yourself can turn the other way opposite. So once prayer is involved, once you didn't rush into the marriage, once it's not a planned marriage, once you consulted the right people from the beginning, it's not like, oh, there are some pastors that will say, this is your husband. I saw that this is your wife,
and you go like
and
that.
you enter like that, even without doing
all those things. It's not even you should not believe 100%. Don't believe 100%, my dear, because at that moment they're seeing the guy with you, but the guy might be someone, a total stranger. So just pray over it yourself.
Exactly, do your personal homework.
See what, like, women character, they will let you see what they want you to see. That's what they will show. Even during all this dating something, guys will show you, and even ladies too, they will show you what they want you to see, not their deep down, until you enter. Like my sister, she said when she and her husband, they were still dating, she would, like, whenever she enter her husband's room, it's always clean, like, no clothes.
So what's not happening
after marriage? They just come, drop clothes, drop shoe there, you understand? So there's some things just pray that is something that you can undo. No matter what's going to change, it's not all this domestic violence or shit, just something you can handle that is normal, something in a relationship.
Marriage is like a sacrifice. It's like like forever sacrifice. So you just have to calm down and watch very well before you enter. Jump. You say you want to marry because my mate are getting married. They're wearing ring.
Out
They're
of
turning
pressure.
Mrs. I pity you.
I will also advise parents to allow their children to make their own decisions, not to be giving. Okay, I want to marry now. I say, you must marry this one. If you don't marry this one, you're not my child. I'll disown you. Can you
Exactly.
control-"
Okay,
African
I
parents.
understand that case. But what if you're in a situation whereby they say what parents can see when they are standing, you really cannot see when you're sitting. Parents will come with all this emotional blackmail and say, okay, this is what it is at this point. But then I don't subscribe to them dictating this is or marry from this family because of wealth or something.
Even that one is even I'm not saying it's okay. It's not. There's some that will even tell you, they will not tell you that marry from this family, but they will tell you that your husband you must marry must be tall or must be short, must have money,
Or you must be
have car.
Exactly.
Because
But my-
you-
from
there's
this
some
culture,
parents
do you
like
know
that.
actually African parents in general, they have issues about like the tribalists. See, you guys will not deny this. They say don't marry Igbo. What did Igbo do you?
So, exactly,
Igbos, their women
understand.
be like, you God say come to the world and
Some
multiply.
actually talk through experience, like because what
Some
they have
talk
seen.
through
But it's not
experience.
everybody.
For
It's not
instance, my
everybody.
mom would
That's
tell
not
me,
possible.
if you're going to get married, marry someone that you understand each other's language.
Yeah.
If you're married, for instance, now they have their reasons. They might not spell it and say, "Oh,
And
this is
say
why we are
everything.
telling you not to marry Igbo." This is why you're telling. Because when number one, starting from marital rights, you are not Igbo. You're not from Igbo background. How do you want to blend? Do you want to rehearse it? Do you want to? You cannot
You
go
go to
in
class.
when you're speaking language. You don't understand. Even if you say you want to go to class 1 month for marriage, subsequently if you're doing, you don't understand. So my mom said, "Kele de fede, let Yoruba marry Yoruba." So you understand yourself. It's like you're going to Lagos market and Igbo men are talking. You don't understand what they are saying.
But people that marry, they didn't intermarry. They're not die.
It's not everything that
it's
works.
but
It's not everything
all.
that
I
works.
understand what they're trying to say. I just say our parents should just
Probably out of
instead
5,
of
2 out of
dictating,
5.
They should not dictate.
instead of dictating, they should make us understand
And they just
why
pray
they
for
are
us that
saying
we
it.
marry the right
The right
person. That's the
person,
only thing they know.
exactly.
They
Don't
should
just
not
dictate and say,
saying you don't marry
must do
this.
this. Just let us understand. This is why I'm saying, if you not see that it's something you can cope with, then fine, that's your own. But it's like I will never support that.
But what if you have a situation whereby they told you these things and you say, no, I'm gonna die on this lane, I'm gonna die on this man, it's my own, I've prayed, I've done, and you end up in the marriage and you start regretting.
That's your problem.
Really?
They said your best to say Kelerugberu because they told you you are stubborn. Maybe
Yeah,
the
some-
mother has seen something that is coming, like let's say a foreseen event. So she's trying to tell you with style that don't go there, that's fire. But you want that fire gun you want to enter. Bye bye.
It's still the same
No,
thing I'm
say-
saying that she's supposed not to say it in style. You said she said it she's supposed to sit you down and explain. This is what
Yes.
I see.
These are the
That's
reasons.
how I
Details.
would order. Imagine me in love. And you now come to me, you did not tell me anything. You are just trying to dictate for me that don't do this. I no explain. I will never listen.
Some parents might be nice, my dear. They will tell you, but the person not say listen because your ear is blocked already with cotton
love.
and this thing.
And
It's
love.
a
I
papa.
understand when someone is in love. That's why parents have to do better. Like instead of forcing you that you must do this.
Anything. So we just need.
I
one
know
thing.
them before I know the guy. So there's no way I will not listen if you actually sit me down and explain everything to me.
What I need out there from parents is just prayer for just pray for your children
Pray
that
for
they should
yourself
fall on the
too.
right hand. That's the
Yeah,
prayer.
yeah.
Just pray
No
for
matter the
for
tribe,
yourself.
Yoruba, Igbo, in Hausa,
Not
just
Exactly.
pray for the
No
right
matter
man.
the
Or
tribe,
the
pray
right
for
man
the
your
right
son,
person.
the right man for your daughter.
Adults will say marriage is a blind market, and no matter how
Yes.
much you've been
carry.
courting or dating, you can never know the person's character. Just like the example she cited, you can never know a man's character. Even till 49 years in marriage, new characters
You know
evolve.
every-
50 years in
Exactly.
marriage, new
You
character,
learn
new
new
behaviors.
things every
Exactly.
day. Every
Thing
day.
changes. So we employ everyone listening out there, like in your marriage, try to know when to act, try to know when to make the move. Don't slack, don't do, don't drool.
I'm sorry, if you know your husband, please try to know his friends.
That's
Because
another
they
important
learn from
thing.
their friends too.
They learn from
It may
every
not be
lesson.
like that, but eventually after starting meeting and working with them and all, you
What they
start
used to
learning
say,
new
You
things.
start this thing like
Acting upon it.
maybe
and
they're
doing it.
saying something about lady. Maybe now it doesn't shout at the girl. Maybe the friend they're like not CBC in it. She's rude. I shouted at her. Then you like, okay, maybe I should try with my babe. Don't try it. Though. It's not all the babe. It's not all the women that are mentally okay. If you shout, they will break your head. No, see, no, we're not saying that. Seriously, some women, the way
especially
we have
men that even
violent
act on selfish reasons. I've seen
Yes.
a life story of a man who told his wife not to work again. She should stop working so that other men will not get attracted to her.
See, the way we have violent men, that's why we have violent women. So it's on the both sides. If you actually saying,
But we should also watch out
watch
for
out.
people with
because
selfish
some women
interests.
they're not
Selfish
okay.
interest,
Some women they might
exactly.
have some disorder, but might not notice you. Maybe you're close to them or married to them. So just for both sake, just pray for your partner, your life
Exactly.
partner.
Put God first, pray for your life partner, and don't forget God in all of your process. From dating to courting to you're seeing marriage counselor to you're doing introduction to you're doing engagement to you're married, your first children, every day. Don't forget the place of prayers and God in all of these stages, because they say a place without God is full of crisis. So let's not forget God in all of these places. And on this note, we're joining the curtains for today's Family Matters with K here and now. Thanks for joining me, Sammy, Timlei, and Moyo on today's episode of the Family Matters with K. It's been an amazing time with you all. And right about now, up next by 4 is the news. So don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. Drop your comments, drop every of your opinions with us, and we'll get back to you. That is it on the show this afternoon. Do have a good evening. My name is Olumakaiye.
You are listening to Lagoon Radio.
Dámi lọ́lá Sunday mi ò ní. Ọ̀rẹ́ tí máa ti máa ṣẹ́gun àwẹ̀ sùn.